The number one question I get asked, Jason, how do you change other people? If you've tried to change other people before, you know that is the hardest thing to do. On today's podcast, we're going to talk about how do you actually get other people to change, all on today's show. Salon owners are some of the most amazing people on planet Earth. The only problem is sometimes their hearts are so big and they give so much of themselves to their staff and guests that it creates unintended consequences. Our goal is to change the industry by elevating the way the rest of the world sees salons, spas, and barbershops and give it the credibility that it truly deserves. This is the Salon Owner Evo Revo Show. Welcome to today's show. So good to have you on. I am Jason Everett, and with me is my partner in crime, Mr. Doug Campbell. What's up, Doug?
It's going, man. How's it going?
Dude, it's going good. And you and I have been knocking around this idea for something for a while now that we're going to talk about today that creates crazy amounts of change in people. And we're talking about this. We're getting it ready. We've been knocking around this idea about creating an extraordinary challenge, like a self-discovery challenge, a push yourself challenge, a challenge that gives you an opportunity to kind of get a taste of what it's like to be a little bit different. And as one of our mentors has pointed us over to a guy by the name of Buckminster Fuller. We've done a lot of reading, a lot of study of this guy named Buckminster Fuller. He said, God, the great spirit, the universe, how you choose to look at it. He said, God would not give you a lick of the ice cream cone if you weren't meant to have the whole thing. And what we talked about doing is, could we give somebody, Doug, could we give somebody a taste of what they were truly capable of? What's the shortest amount of time we could do that in? And we've been knocking around this idea of, do you think it's possible we could give somebody a taste of what they're capable of creating inside 7 days?
Right? Yeah, well, I think that's the thing, is putting people in a position where they're aware of where, for lack of a better word, their buttons are, and allowing them to self-select what those buttons are that's going to push them. And it's just that it's whenever you commit, just things change whenever you commit to something. Right. And so what's the thing we get people to commit to that would cause enough change that would pull the curtain up a little bit so they could see a little bit of what's possible, because like what we talked about at the beginning is like, how do you change other people? And the secret is, you've got to have the cojones, if you will, to change yourself. You've got to look. I mean, you do. You have to sit there and say, okay, look, I want all these other people to change. So what do I do? And it doesn't matter what level you're at. I mean, you and I have both been working on things personally we want to see what's next and what's the next level. So looking to see what can we do to push ourselves to the next level, because we know in order to push our team and drive our company where we want it to be, we have to, one, be able to drive ourselves and take ourselves to that different area. And because there's multiple benefits. One, the headspace that it does to yourself whenever you do that, then makes you a better leader, one. But then when other people see that you are willing to push yourself, willing to take yourself to that next level, then it encourages them to do it. Because otherwise everybody will keep dropping to their lowest common denominator.
That's right.
We all enjoy sitting on the couch and watching TV, and it's just okay. You deserve it. It's been a long day. Those things can turn into that instead of pushing it up and saying, what am I truly capable of? And then and I think that's a constant journey. But sometimes people will talk about it, and because it's easier to talk about how other people should change, and it's very comfortable to avoid why I should change.
Right. So, And I think that's it, right? Is we're talking about this. By the way, if you're new to the podcast, do me a favor and type in the word new. If you're new to the show on video, on podcast, wherever you can type it in, type in the word new if you're new. If you're an OG, you've been around for a minute, and type in OG. And we're going to talk about this because I think a lot of people want to change others. If you want to change other people, do me a favor and comment with the word me in the comment section. Because Doug, I wish every day when somebody does something, a little not like I want, I wish I could just hand them like a little sign that says fix it and they take care of it. I wish my 6-year-old son would change. I wish my 3-year-old son would change. I wish my wife would, just be on the same page with me every single day. But that's not how life works. Does that make sense? Like it's not like you run around just like passing out I don't know, passing out lollipops. They take the lollipop and all of a sudden they do exactly what you ask for. But gee, don't we all wish that was the case?
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it's all day long, but as we've learned and the things that we've gone through, the best way to do it is to start with me. Because at the end of the day, it's like one of the programs we do is one of the questions is, could you be the biggest problem, or could you be the biggest obstacle
Is
in
it
your
possible
life?
you're your biggest obstacle?
Yeah, you're your biggest obstacle. And is that good news or bad news? Well, somebody says bad news because I got to live with me all the time. If I'm my biggest problem, that sucks.
Right.
But I think on the other side, it's good news because the only one that you can change is you. You can want to change people every day. The only way you're going to be able to truly influence and change other people is whenever you truly get into your own headspace and start to move, because you're going to see the world differently. You're going to see yourself differently. You're going to be a different leader, and that's going to change the people around you. It happens every time, every single time. But it takes commitment on your part. It's like,
right.
But can I change them without doing that?
Right. The answer is no. The answer is no. You got to change first. I heard this yesterday and it blew my mind. The opposite of courage is conformity. And like you talked about being in that couch potato spot or anything else, Doug, where you're trying to figure out like the conformity idea is the opposite of courage. And when you look at those two things and say, okay, what do I need to do to be courageous? Is look, if you want to start getting other people to be courageous and taking risks and doing things, you got to do it yourself. So here's what's going on. If you're watching this podcast with us live, then clearly this hasn't happened yet. You might be watching this after we've launched this thing, which coming up January 11th, 2021. January 11th, we're launching a brand new 7-day Beautiful Minds Challenge on January 11th. We're launching it publicly. We're doing a big event on January 11th, and we're going to launch it at that event, and you'll be able to have access to it on January 11th for a 7-day personal development challenge unlike anything you've done before. You've seen some other challenges out there. You've probably seen some physical fitness ones and all kinds of stuff. This is a personal development deep dive. And if you want to be part of the 7-day personal development challenge, either when it launches or maybe you're watching this after it already launched and you want to get a part of it, you want to get to be a part of it, do me a favor and comment with the word 7-day in the chat down in the comment section. And if you're watching it before January 11th, you can still comment. If you're watching after January 11th, you can still comment 7-day. And we're going to show you how to get access to a totally free 7-day personal development challenge that you can go on. You can take your staff on. You can take your family on. You can take your parents on. You can take your whoever you want to go and do this thing with. Maybe you get a couple of buddies together and you want to do it because fitness is one piece of it, right? And there's actually 3 core areas. I'm going to give you guys part of the challenge, but here's what I want to say. I'm going to give you on this podcast parts of this challenge, but I just want to say this. We're going to take you through and give you step-by-step guidance, go into a full deep dive, give you a lot more clarity, and give you tools and resources to make sure that you make it out of this thing and you have like a profound change in 7 days. So there's 3 key areas, okay? 3 key areas we want to clue you into on this challenge. Number 1 is there's going to be mental challenges, okay? Because we want to change your mental fitness. There's emotional challenges, okay? Things you're going to have to do. They're going to stretch you emotionally. And then there's going to be physical challenges, right? So you have your physical fitness. And there's those 3 key areas. So mental, emotional, and physical. Now, again, think about these things. So during this challenge, the way it works is it's kind of like a choose your own adventure. Now, it's not a choose your own adventure like, oh, do the easiest thing on this list and congratulations. Like, I don't know about you, Doug. When I was younger, I used to read choose your own adventure books and I'd go, what's the shortest way I could finish this book? That's literally how I used to read them because I'm like, oh, you get credit for the whole book and you didn't read the whole book. That's how my brain works. I'm a shortcut guy. If you're a shortcut person, do me a favor and type shortcuts. This is the total opposite of that challenge. This is what's the hardest thing on this list? And you'll know as soon as I say it. What's the hardest thing on this list? You pick the hardest one from each of the 3 categories, and congratulations. That's your own personal, customized challenge. Doug, you want me to read this list?
Yeah. Just one thing on that is it's the reason we did it this way. It's going to be different for each different people. Some of you are going to be like, oh, I do that, or I'm really good at that. I just said, don't pick those. It's going to be the ones when you read the one that makes you tense up a little bit or makes you nervous. That's the one you need to pick. It's going to how big of a game do you want to play? Do you really want to change other people in your space, or do you not? Are you just talking to hear yourself talk, or do you want to get up there and say, look, I can do this? None of this stuff's going to kill you, but it is going to push you, and it's according to which one it is and what you pick, how hard it's going to push you. And if you want to be crazy and go over the top, you can pick them all.
Yeah, you can do them all. And that's part of how we elaborate on this 7-day challenge. But let's take the beginning. So under mental challenge, I got 30 minutes of daily meditation. I'm going to read each one of these and we're going to talk about them. 30 minutes of daily meditation. Okay. If that scares the crap out of you, then that's the one you need to do. A daily random act of kindness involving your wallet, meaning literally every day for these 7 days to do a random act of kindness using money. Maybe you've got a challenge around money and you hoard it. This is to be a good challenge for you. The next one is a total social media blackout for 7 days. No social media, not for work, not for play, not for anything. Like delete the app off your phone for 7 days. And then a total blackout on TV. No TV at all. Unplug it from the wall. Don't do any TV whatsoever. Let's talk about these. I think 30 minutes of meditation, Doug. There's a couple ways to do that. Number one, there's a couple meditation apps actually have a 30-minute designated map. Now, a couple ways to do this. Number one, you either get some noise canceling headphones or you just go find yourself a quiet space and you can just have complete and total silence for 30 minutes every single day. You can find a way to do that. You can go through and use some of the apps. There's some supported ones. There's some cool ones that we recommend inside the challenge that we'll show you how to do. And you can go on a guided meditation every day for 30 days, but you have 30 minutes of completely dedicated time to meditate during that.
Yes,
on the daily random act of kindness.
You got to carve that time out.
It's got to be scheduled.
I'm going to do 30 minutes when I find time today.
Right.
You will fail under those circumstances. It needs to be, you're planning, this is when, because you'll know, do I have to get up at 4:30 in the morning to be able to do that in my space? Yeah. Do I need to stay up until midnight to be able to do that in my space?
Right. And I recommend that's a first thing in the morning. I get up at 5. I do my 30 minutes of meditation. Like that's the jam. You do it first thing before your mind is clear, before you do this stuff. Now, if you want to take on social media and not do that too at the same time meditation, that's a great day. But the idea is at least pick your toughest one on that list. Number 2, emotional. Now, we have a lot of vices for our emotions, Doug. You know, we do things to soothe ourselves. Like as adults, we don't have pacifiers, but we do have other things that are pacifiers. Cigarettes, chewing tobacco, fast food, hitting up the Mickey D's. I can't live without my coffee. Pacifier. Sugar, sweets. Doug, I'm a dessert fan. Sweets, man, that'll get you. Yep. Drugs. And when I say drugs, obviously I mean hard drugs, number one. But it's also things like, taking Advil. There's a lot of people who kind of medicate themselves that way. They take Advil or Tylenol or like, I have a little headache or whatever. It's like, none of that at all. 0 for 7 days. And then finally, the number one medication of choice in the U.S. offered over the counter, alcohol. Right? A lot of people unwind with a glass of wine. I used to have a boss. He'd knock out a bottle of 2 of wine a night. That's a different problem. And I say that because it's very socially acceptable to do that. These are our publicly acceptable pacifiers that we use for our emotional support list. And this is a total cleanse from that. You know what, man? You spend 7 days. If you're used to having alcohol every day, you spend 7 days, you will notice a physical difference in yourself. If you do 30 days in that same regard, and with all these, you could take these 7 days, turn them into 30 days, and be a totally different person in 30 days. But you do it for 7, and you'll see what you'll unfog your mind. Right. Alcohol can stay in your system for up to 24 hours. Same with almost all of these items. If you
same thing with sugars, and people don't realize what sugar does to your body. All of those, smoking. I mean, it's like, and I think the thing is, like, we're not saying you got to quit smoking. We're saying go 7 days.
Yeah, do 7 days. I mean,
7 days. Because the thing is, I just say, if you can't on any of these challenges, if you cannot give that up for 7 days, there's a bigger problem that you probably need to look at.
That's right. And so let's talk about physical for a second, because on this third category, physical. One, you can do 30 minutes of yoga. We're talking like yoga stretches, like going through guided yoga. You can go find a YouTube video. We have got some resources for you. We get you inside our version of the challenge. We also have 30 minutes of workout. Okay, and preferably that's an outside workout. I would highly recommend it's 30 minutes of an outside workout. And then the third option under physical. So either you're doing 30 minutes of stretching and yoga, because again, no matter what shape you're in, you can do that. 30 minutes of working out outside, an actual physical workout where your heart rate gets up, not just going on a stroll outside for 30 minutes, a workout for 30 minutes. And the final one I think is a big deal, and I think this is going to scare the crap out of some people, Doug, being really honest, is a 5-minute daily cold shower. And there's right ways and wrong ways to do that. You want to talk about that for a second? Because you've been doing that for a while. I've been doing it for a year. I know we've both been in this regiment of trying to figure out how that works. That's a game changer, man.
Yeah, I mean, and you can ease your way into this. You don't have to have it cold and jump right into cold. You can take your regular shower and then slowly turn it to cold, and then start off with, if you can't do the full 5 minutes of that, do what you can, and each day do a little bit more.
Work up to that 5 minutes.
Right. Yeah. So maybe you do 30 seconds the first time, or 15 seconds. And as you get more comfortable doing it, it's a lot of benefits. There's a lot of studies behind it that shows a ton of health benefits, even your cardiovascular system. Because one of the things we've gotten to this point now where we control our temperature in this median temperature around 70 something degrees that we exist in most of the time, in our car, in our homes, at our work. So our cardiovascular system isn't used to contracting and expanding the way that it was designed to do. So you get hardening of the arteries. One of the things that this is proven to do, it forces your body to go through those contractions on a daily basis, which brings a lot more, your arteries are more elastic at that point, and therefore you don't come into, and you get your capillaries, you get micro blood flow going to areas that may not have gotten good blood flow in a long time. There's a lot of it that's proven to help with depression. And I'll tell you from me, you can't come out of that cold shower depressed. You're not going to be depressed. You're going to be like, wow, that was something.
I would also say, yeah, I mean, depression, stress, there's so many good benefits out of it. You know, I occasionally will get these headaches. I'll get these stress-related headaches. And like when I do these cold showers, I do not get the stress-related headaches. Like it just goes away. There's a lot of people who can't function without their coffee in the morning. This is another shock to your system. And what it is you're putting your body in a position of a self-induced stress and strain on the body. And what you're doing is you're conditioning your body to be able to handle and maintain a higher level of stress in everything you do. And I don't know about you guys, but the last time I checked, we're under a lot of stress. So why don't you condition your body to be able to handle and manage that so it's in a much cleaner place? Now, if you think the 7-day challenge is crazy, you're right. It's something that not the average person will do. In fact, I would make the argument 95% of those people that will listen to this will be like, yeah, I either do some of that stuff, and that's themselves mentally checking out before they've even begun, or, and hopefully that's not you, or they'll just say it's too hard. I don't want to do it. It's just not worth it. It's not, and that just means you're not ready. That's okay. But what I will say is that 1% or that 5% of people, and by the way, if you're one of those 1%, do me a favor and say 1% in the comments. Is if you're one of those 1% of people that say, I'm going to take this challenge on, then that means you're ready to be completely different in 7 days. Get a taste. Remember what I said at the beginning? Buckminster Fuller said, God would not give you a lick of the ice cream cone if you weren't meant to have the whole thing. Our job is to give you that taste inside 7 days of what that's like, and then potentially give you a 30-day version of that, and then maybe even a year version of what that looks like for yourself. And inside our challenge, the way we've set it up, we've got a whole list of resources for you. We help you set goals. We help you put a couple of other really beneficial things that'll help you get across the line. Because you could take that challenge and run with it. But that's your version of the challenge. It's kind of like your loose version. Our version that we've set up is specifically designed to give you support through the process, share with other people what the experience is, get some feedback for it. And there's one other real critical thing that I want to say about this challenge without all the other details. There's other things inside. Basically, you can do this challenge for free. And again, if you're interested in signing up for the challenge, just type in the word 7-day and you can get signed up for the challenge. We'll give you a ton of other support tools, resources, checklists, all kinds of good stuff, and more detailed explanations on all these challenges. But what you want to be able to do is you got to do all of these things for all 7 days. You know, you skip, you binge and you have some sugar on day 3, or you slip a cigarette, or you check your Facebook page just real quick because you were worried about something. Guess what? Your 7 days starts over. That's not a complete challenge. You don't get to the finish line by doing part of it. And this is either you completely do it or you don't. So if you hit day 3 and it doesn't work right, you got to start over. And you got to really ask yourself, like, why am I committed to this? What's going on? Because I think if you look at this idea of why would somebody do this challenge, is because they want to know what they're truly capable of. They want to get a taste of it so they can see what's going on. You might have some resistance to this where you say, you know what? This scares me. And here's the deal. It should scare you, but it also should excite you. If it scares you and excites you, then that means you need to do it with us.
Yep,
we're getting ready to take, what's that?
So that's the perfect spot. Excited and a little scared. I love that because that means people are willing to change and they know that it's going to be a challenge and they're willing to take it.
That's right.
That's a great spot to be in.
And the deal is, here's the thing. There's a special recipe you need to have this work. I mean, Doug, you mentioned it, right? As we're talking about, you backed me up on this, is that you got to be a little scared, a little excited, and most importantly, you got to be committed. Yep. 100% committed before you do it. Like, as we're talking to this either is resonating with you, like at a cellular level, and you're like, this is what I've been needing. This is what I need to put all the junk that's happened in the last 3 months, last 6 months, last 12 months behind me, all that drama with my family, all those issues with my business, all that personal crap that I want to get out of the way, all of those things that have been kicking your you-know-what. If you want to get control over that in your own life, then this is the challenge. You want to start being able to get other people around you to change. This starts by changing yourself first.
Yeah, and it goes to the not lying to yourself. You do the real thing. Like I said, if you slip up, you don't give yourself the excuse, I slipped up, that's okay. It's like, that's okay. You got to start over. It's 7 days starts again tomorrow. Right. Until you can do those 7 days, and in each area you committed the thing, or you completed the thing you committed to. Because otherwise, where else are you giving excuses to yourself? Why else are you not getting things done, the things you wanted to? Why is no one following you the way you'd like for them to follow you? All those things come into what there's massive things that can be learned out of this if you do it the right way, if you follow it the way that we're laying it out for you.
Yeah, and there's lots of other things that we're talking about in this challenge to really make sure you succeed, because you could probably take on some of these things and get rid of them, but you're not going to have the profound impact as if you sign up with us and be able to do it in our closed group in the context that we're going to create for you and really help you and push you. And we're just in the beginning. We're in step 1 here. As we're creating more resources for you, we'll make them available. We'll give you that framework and start to give you tips and resources. And as we continue to get more successes from this, as we beta test it and get it launched out with the rest of our groups and our people, we'll just keep adding to the resource list for you, adding to the way to do it. And you would do this just really because for you as a person, somewhere deep down inside that you've got another gear. Like Doug and I are car guys. We love motorsports and cars and all things fast, let's just say. Right? And it's like finding another gear. It's like knowing that there's an overdrive that you can shift into and blast ahead, or you can downshift and accelerate. It's like finding a new gear that gives you a new power. Here's what I know if you're listening to this still, because you would have shut this off at the beginning of the podcast if you didn't like it, right? What I know is if you're here and you're still listening to this thing right as we get to the end of the show, it means that you suspect that there's another gear that you just haven't experienced in your life yet. In 7 days, all I want to do is give you, like, you shift into that gear and you get that extra power and you're like, I didn't even know that was there. That's all I want you to get, right? Out of 7 days, I want you to find a new gear, because if you get a taste, just a taste of what that new gear's like, you're going to want to get it over and over and over again. And that's the healthiest high you could possibly be on, is when you experience what you're capable of.
Yep. It comes with a commitment, and then be willing to. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be nervous, and that's just the part of it. Hopefully y'all all will join us and do this, and we'll start to have an impact all around. We're really focused on the beauty industry for this, because if we can get the mindset of this industry where it deserves to be, then we really start to impact and change where this industry can go. Because some of the most amazing people in the world, but maybe they just haven't found their second, third gear yet. And that's what we're here to help you find.
So if you're ready, you're going to join us and you're going to be a part of it. Do me a favor, comment, 7-day, last chance, make your commitment, be in. Join us on January 11th as we start the challenge, or anytime after that. You can jump in, grab a group. I recommend you go through it in a group. You grab some other people, go through it with them, share your experiences, pack up, as we say, right? Pack up, get with a pack. We have performance packs. We get them together. You get way more accomplished when you pack together. Find a pack of people, get them to this podcast, say, listen to the show, tell me if you want to do it, and let's rock and roll. I'm excited to change a lot of you. For those that are willing, I only want to take the people that are willing, because you'll go far and you'll go fast. I think that's this gets to be. Looks like Don's on board. Dora's on board. I see many more of you guys coming in right now as we're talking about it. I'm excited to have you on. Let's do it together and have a great day. I look forward to seeing you changed after 7 days. Thanks, guys.
Yep. See you later.
Thanks for listening to the Evo Revo podcast. If you liked today's episode, please subscribe, leave us a review, and you can always get more information, including show notes and the video episodes at evorevopodcast.com.